Hello everyone, and welcome to Thursday Night Throwdown Arca series. I am Trevor Massetti, alongside with my buddy Michael Sheffield. And I don't know about you, Chef, but I am ready to watch some Arca racing and see what these guys can do here at Charlotte.
Yeah, these Arca cars at Charlotte definitely should be a fun race tonight. You know, Just watching the practice laps here, watching these guys go around. We got 70 laps here tonight. Should be a pretty good race in store. I know these guys are excited. This is their fourth race of the series, and so the first one for us. And I'm really excited about this series. We double header tonight. Did these ARCA cars and following up right behind it with the trucks tonight here at Charlotte as well.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, this is our first time with this series, so it'll be exciting to see who can dominate here at Charlotte and um, who's gonna struggle a little bit maybe. Because I mean, I ran a couple laps here earlier, and this I was like happy feet in there trying to get the car to stick to the track. I mean, this we're running it in afternoon, so the track temp is pretty hot. It's about 100-degree track temp, which I mean that makes for some pretty loose cars coming off of the turns, I think.
Yeah, and I don't believe you're going to see anybody be able to flat foot it around this track. And even if they could for a couple laps, it's going to be a hard car to handle, especially corner center, corner off. So you might see some varying strategy here tonight. Depending on how things play out with tires and fuel, especially. So
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I want to kind of look out for tonight is the undercut because I mean, it depends on how many cautions we get, but I believe that these races have been pretty clean for the last 3 weeks. So if they go green flag, is it worth it to undercut the leader by a couple laps and try and gain some time on new tires? Because I mean, it's a pretty significant fall off from old to new tires, wouldn't you say?
yeah, it's a pretty significant fall off. You pit on the green here. It's going to be a 45 to 50-second loss. With time you get on pit road and your stop. Uh, Probably second, depending on how long far they are in the run. You probably looking at a second fall off or so. So, I'm like you. Somebody might try to undercut it, and the unfortunate thing is if you undercut it and that dreaded caution comes out, it'll mix the game up. So I'm definitely interested to see how this is going to play off, and it could be a huge strategy call night.
Yeah, definitely. Let's take a look at our race info here. We are at Charlotte, obviously, for 70 laps. The track temp is 100 degrees, as I said. It's partly cloudy out there with 78-degree weather. The track length is a mile and a half long here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the altitude is 676 feet.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see. If its track temp is going to go up or go down, because that would definitely affect the amount of rubber that gets laid down over the course of the run and how these cars are going to adjust. And the one thing we haven't really talked about here is tight pack here. You can run that draft. Draft will play a huge factor in the night.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's one thing that we're going to have to look out for is, I mean, these guys can get, they're going to be close on fuel, but I wonder if we'll see anybody try to use that draft and use it as an advantage to them and try to save and make this thing on one set of tires.
Yeah, that's a good call there. That's always a possibility here. The hard part is going to be doing 70 laps on one set of tires. They're going to have to probably fall back, save their tires and just try to maintain the draft. The hard part about you want to be in that lead spot here, but as a leader in the draft, you're going to burn more fuel than anybody else.
Yeah, for sure. I think we might see a couple people do what I call the Sheffield line, where they drop back and let everybody pass them and kind of wave goodbye, and then they say, "Hey, I'll see you in about 10 laps here when my tires come in." And I think that could be a good option, but then again, if the track temp continues to go up, then I think you might see a different story, and people are going to want tires way more than they're going to want fuel. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, and it looks like the middle line is going to be the dominant line here in the early part. We'll have to see how that develops because we're getting to go qualifying here in about 30 seconds or so, and see how these guys can lay down a hot lap around this track.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, like you said, the middle line is going to be kind of where all the rubber is and where you want to get your car set so that you can stick it around the corner and not slide up and hit the wall or spin out like I did a couple times in practice.
Yeah, it would definitely we're gonna see some different varying strategies here tonight. I believe you're gonna see some people pit. I believe you're gonna see some people try to stay at a little bit longer, and they get strung out a little bit. It might change the scenario here. It looks like we're getting ready to go qualify now.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested to see. In practice, we saw Bradley Wilson uh, take the top of the leaderboard, but it was only by 2/1000ths of a second over, I believe it was Bryant Seaborn that was sitting in second.
Yeah, Brian is your winner from last week, so we'll have to see how the winners from the previous weeks fare tonight as far as the points going to look for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. I'm, I don't know. I'm interested to see as we watch Bradley Wilson come out, going to take his out lap and see what he can do.
Now, do you think Trevor Place you're gonna throw away this first lap and try to get these tires nice and warm, or is it gonna you're gonna try to go for it on lap one because you're just gonna lose so much fall off by lap two?
Personally, with the looseness of this car, I think you almost have to throw away that first lap and just get some heat in the tires, get the engine warmed up, and then just pin it to win it on the second lap. And I mean, just try and hold on for dear life and get that thing to go around the track.
Yeah, because you can kind of lay it easy in 3 and 4 there on the beginning of the second from the first to second lap. Get a little bit of that extra speed coming through the front straightaway. Give you that extra thousandth or 2/1000ths of a second, which doesn't seem like a lot, but a track like this that can be a huge difference in your qualifying position.
Yeah, for sure. As we just saw, Bradley Wilson actually beat his practice time with a 31.027, and he's followed up by Bryant Seaborn with a 31.1. But I mean, man, that's still pretty close to field.
Yeah, I was expecting, low 31s. Maybe I was wondering if we get a little peek into the high 30s, is the qualifying time here. And they're right on the border of it.
Yeah, I wonder if with that draft they'll be able to peek into the 30s for the first couple laps of the race.
Yeah, that draft is going to be a huge factor here tonight. And like you said, that 30-second mark, get everybody in a single file line, especially. And that's what's going to take a little while tonight is people to decide, okay, this is where I'm going to be. I'm going to run here for a while, try to work myself and set myself up in position for making that pass in the car in front of me, because this is a place that if you try to go to the bottom, you lose too much momentum, and the guy behind you pulls up to the guy you're trying to pass, you could lose a couple positions here.
Yeah, this could very easily become a one groove track. But we are going to listen to our beloved national anthem. So please rise and remove your caps as we listen to the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that
It looks like we're finishing up very, very close race.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be interesting to see who can walk away with this one and what kind of strategies we'll see. Because I mean, the track temp it's climbing a little bit, but it's just kind of slowly but surely getting up there. But it could cool off too if some cloud cover rolls in. We'll see. So starting off with our Shenandoah Shine Trailblazer Pole Award, we have Bradley Wilson taking the pole with a 31.027 on the time slot. And he is followed up by Garrett Delph in the number 13 car. And then Clinton Sneed in the number 49 car. That makes up your top three. Starting on the second row on the outside will be Bryant Seaborn in the 76. On the inside, Evan Scott in the 24 car. The 81 of Taylor Peacock will take the 6th spot. Cody Dorsey in the 84 will take the 7th spot. Robert Kinney will take the 8th spot, in the number 4 car. And the 42 of Kevin Winker will take the 9th spot. And rounding out the top 10 is Joshua Abbey in the 05 car. Sam Jones will take the 11th spot in the number 45 car, and the 77 of Clayton Kincart will take the 12th spot.
Starting 13th will be the number 79 of Donnie Lyons. On his outside will be the number 48 of Brandon Browning. Starting 15th will be Jonathan Locke in the 34. Starting 16th will be Brandon Pearl in the 00. Kelly Everett is starting 17th in the number 10. Alongside is Brian Skidmore and the number 75 and starting 18th. Starting 19th is Colton Kincart and the number 63. Starting 20th is Ben Ganowski and the number 30. Starting 21st is Tori Thompson and the number 88. To his outside will be Corey Locke and the number 1. And rounding out the field will be Stephen Gregory and the number 61.
That is a pretty tight qualifying grid there as we roll off and get ready to go green here at Charlotte.
Yeah, it's quite a tight starting grid there as far as qualifying times. So, yeah, with this draft tonight, it still could be, and with the pit road gamble, it could be anybody's race tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing we're going to have to look out for is with that draft, what kind of strategies people will do. And also, like, these cars are super, super easy to pick up some damage. So I don't think we'll see too much, like, rubbing is racing type stuff because, these cars are just super fragile. But we are coming into turn 3 and getting ready to go green.
Yeah, these guys will have one faster pair tonight, but like you said, you don't want any special aero damage here, and you don't want to have to rely on using that repair. So I think you're going to see, early part of the race, probably a lot of room here or there, given, especially on these green tires. You know as well as I do, cars do not handle well. It looks like we're coming down to the green flag now.
Yes, we are. And Bradley Wilson is going to lead him to the green flag with Garrett Delph on his outside, and they are off here at Charlotte.
Yeah, the 49 of Clinton Sneed, had a good start behind the leader there, and he's going to take over that second position.
Man, they single filed out quick. I mean, look at all the way back. And it looks like we got a big wreck.
So we had a car off the track there, and everybody's still kind of filing back together. Looks like I couldn't tell which number that was. It got a little low on the track here, and it will easily pull you off that apron. And fortunately, he was able to gather it back together. Like I said, these green tires and these cars center off the corner. A little bit too much gas, along with a left turn on the wheel, and your rear end just kind of wants to come around on you.
Yeah, that apron is a scary place to be for sure. But I mean, everybody, there's maybe a couple that are straggling out there in that second lane, but like we said, it's pretty much a one groove track, kind of the middle to the bottom is where everybody's running at right now. But I'm curious to see if that'll change as the tires wear in and the track kind of gets more rubber on the bottom. I wonder if they'll start to move upwards towards that wall.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the line's going to change, if people are going to migrate down here, because they're going to be lifting coming into the corner, and later in the run, is the leader or whoever the guy you're passing, is he going to be able to maintain that high line and just keep you on the bottom and get a better drive off? That's going to be the question later. Is can you lift a little earlier, set that guy up in front of you, you get that good drive off, and you're going to have to get beside him on the front of the backstretch and complete that pass going to the next corner. Because as you know as well as I do, one of the trickiest parts of this track is that trial. It looks like we got
man,
trouble
big wreck
coming out of
involving
1 and
the
2.
48 and the 84, and oh man, that was a hard hit. The 88 just, it looks like he didn't see it and
Yeah,
did not get
it
checked
looked like
up in
I
time.
believe that's the 84 got loose on the center there coming down in the corners. It's that initial turn in here. That rear end of that car just will kick around on you, and it looked like it was the 84
Yeah,
of Cody
man,
Dorsey
and that,
involved
I
there.
mean, it's a good thing they have a fast repair, which fast repair, if no one is aware, it allows you to basically get a brand new car and just continue on with your race, but you only get one. So if you use it now and you get in another wreck with maybe 10 to go, then you're out of luck. There's
Yeah,
not
that
much you
kind of
can do there.
forces you into the play it safe category, where you want to just take it easy and go through the field there, and oh,
See if we can't see. Oh yeah, like you said, the 84 just got loose, tried to catch it and overcorrected, and then caught the 48 and the 79 with him.
yeah, they just had nowhere to go there, and it's like I said, it just wants to that car wants to just the front end wants to dip down coming into that corner. Is the balance of these cars and getting that weight on the front, and there's a little bit of a hump there, especially going into 1 and 2. That if you ride over that line, sometimes that car does not like the turning point.
Yeah, it's weird because it's hard to tell right here, but when you're in the car, you can see that little kind of line, and you know not to go over it, because if you do, then you end up like the 84, like he did tonight. But that's just an unfortunate event with 6 laps into a race. I mean, you don't want to see that.
As a driver, you can feel it, but when you feel it, it's too late, and that's a feeling you don't want. You like to know where that little hump is, but there's nothing really visible on the track when you're getting to it to know exactly where it is. Now, this early in the run, I don't suspect to see many people pitting here.
No, I don't. I mean, the only reason I could think is if they're really that close on fuel and they think that they tires and just take some of that new Sunoco fuel and top off. But I don't think anyone's going to come in this
and
time.
The field is, it wasn't any really huge moves in the field there on the first a handful of laps in. You saw, Clinton Snead able to get by and take that second position, but when you go back to restart like this, is this gonna flip back around, and is Garrett Delph gonna be able to take that second position if he gets a good start here? The leader controls these restarts, so
Yeah, you're absolutely
that's gonna make a huge difference.
definitely. We are double file and on 1 to go. Pace car lights are out. I think you're definitely right, but I'm wondering if we'll see Clinton Snead try to make a move on the outside, because it'll stick on the outside, but I don't know if it's a viable option for a lot of laps. But if he sticks it on that outside of our leader Bradley Wilson, then I mean he could get a run out of 2 and clear himself on the backstretch. But I don't know. We'll have to see.
It looks like they're coming up now, and the pace cars coming off now.
Yep, and we are back green racing. I was wrong. The 51 looks like he got a heck of a jump there on that restart, so he's going to be sitting pretty comfortably in first place right now.
Yeah, and that's going to allow Garrett Delph. Garrett Delph, was able to get by and take that second position. As you're going to see these guys, it looks like they're trying to get back single file as quick as possible again.
Yeah, there's only, again, a couple like stragglers out there that just can't quite figure out how to get in line. But we're looking at the 84 right now, or we were, and I mean, as you saw, his car was perfectly clean, so he used that faster.
Yeah, on these restarts, there's not an open spot for you to get in, and you're stuck on the outside. You don't exactly want to lose, 3 or 4 spots. You just got to kind of ride there and see where things play out. Then once you find your position, as we just saw, you can get back single file. Looks like, pretty much the top, 10, 13 cars are going to be running a single file here. You're seeing a little bit of variance in the line there in 3 and 4. You'll see they're almost stacking themselves, a couple inside, a couple running the higher line. And I'm curious to see that it pays off. You see the 77 try to low run there off 2. I couldn't tell if he was trying to go low or if the car got a little loose, but he's going to lose a position here.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting to see. Everybody's just single filed out and kind of happy where they are right now. But I wonder if we'll see a lot more 2-wide racing when it gets down closer to the end, when they're all trying to burn their stuff up rather than save and just preserve right now.
Yeah, and looking through the field, Brandon Pearl has already made up 8 spots since the drop of the green flag here. So he's on a move kind of early here, and I don't know if it just favored him on the restarts, and he was in the good lane on both restarts, but he's starting to climb up through the field here as you see the front kind of spreading themselves out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. We've actually, Bradley Wilson in the 51 has made himself a comfortable lead of about 8/10 over Garrett Delph in 13 in second place. So, I mean, but Garrett at the same time is not falling back. I would say he's pretty steady. He's saving and letting our leader of Bradley Wilson go burn his stuff up, and might try and catch him here in like 10, 15 laps.
Yeah, you don't want to burn it up, but you kind of want to save as much tires, but you don't want to let him get too huge of a lead there out in front of you either. So I'm not sure how far back here you're going to be able to pick up the draft as far as time if you get so far back. But you also, if the guy behind you, they want to all stay single file, I think they'll be able to run that single car down in front.
Yeah, definitely. And another factor that we have yet to talk about is lap cars, because we saw the 48 kind of get stacked up single file behind second and third place. And since it's just a single groove track at the moment, they kind of had to sit and wait for him to either move up or them to get a run and move to the outside of him, because it's tough to pass here.
Yeah, it's tough to pass, and this is their 4th race in, but a lot of these guys will be running around each other a lot, and you start to learn what to expect out of not just lap cars, but other drivers in general. And with it being a single groove like this, like you said, it's just hard to get around right now.
Yeah, for sure. We just saw the 05 car getting a little loose there. I don't know what was going on there, but that could have ended pretty badly, just about like our first wreck did.
Well, it looks like the battle's brewing for second place right now. Garrett Delph and Bryant Seaborn are looks like they're going to be pretty close battle here. Seaborn's riding behind right now as he makes his move to the inside. It kind of pushes. Delph kind of runs the high line there. I'm curious to see how much momentum he's going to get coming through the tri-oval. It looks like Brian Seaborn's going to take that second position.
Yeah, that was interesting to see. I wonder if Delph was just trying that top line, seeing if it was gonna work, and it obviously did not because he was not able to hold and stay side by side with Seaborn as they went through the corner. But that is interesting to see the two different lines and what they're doing right now as we see the 49 trying it as well.
Yeah, and sitting in third spot's not a bad place to be. And might have just said, you want to get by, go ahead and go for now. He could have a different strategy overall. He could be trying to save enough fuel to make it the full 70 laps with that pitting, or save enough tire later on that, he's going to be able to make that move right back by any car that gets by him. Is like you said, the Clinton Snead is gaining on him pretty quick here.
Yeah, definitely. And there's another car. There's a couple people I see throughout the field trying that top line, and I wonder if it's starting to come in now or if it's I don't know. It could just be that their tires are feeling better up there for at the moment, but once more people move up, it might change it again. Who knows?
So, what do you think as far as the tire wear here? Do you think the bottom's going to wear the tire more, or do you think the top is going to be more eat up the tire wear more here?
From my experience, I think if you're on the top line and you're holding it, near wide open, then you maybe as fast as it feels. In 10 laps, you will not be that fast. If you're getting it down to the bottom, lifting, using maybe a little brake to set the car in the corner, and getting the car to just stick and drive off, I think you're going to be in much better shape on that bottom line.
Yeah, and I'm looking back through the field now, and it looks like we got a lot of tight racing going back, around the 11th position. You got a lot of cars. Looks like they're jockeying for position back here. They're running pretty tight together, and Sam Jones is one of those up towards the front of that pack there. Looks like he's fighting on the inside, trying to get that position, and looks like he's going to be able to get it here coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, for sure. And going down the backstretch, there is only one car that's not in that single file line that everybody else is in. So it's definitely a one groove track here. But our leader, Bradley Wilson, has actually pulled away to a 2.3 second gap over Bryant Seaborn. So do you think he's burning his stuff up, trying to just hammer down and get away as fast as he can? Or do you think that everybody else is kind of dropping back and letting him kind of do his thing, and they'll be back there in like 10 laps?
Well, when he breaks that, if he can get and break out that draft, which he's done, one car can make up a huge gap, but 22 laps into the run, I don't think you're going to see any major dominance as far as any tire wear differences this early. Now, what he's going to want to see as the leader is the guys get together back here and all start, pulling together and start battling for that position. Vices, working together and trying to close that gap down on him.
Right. The more that they are side by side, the more it helps him because they're slowing each other down technically by pulling the air off of each other. But if they get single file and kind of packed up and everybody gets bumper to bumper, then I think they could catch him pretty quickly.
Yeah, and you're gonna see that, and we're coming up, right now on lap 24 coming to 25. So I'm curious to see, who's got two extra sets here in the pits. Is anybody gonna make the try now? They're gonna wait to halfway. You're gonna see some undercutting going, or is the majority of the field gonna stay out as long as they possibly can?
We just saw the 00 Brandon Pearl get into the wall. It looks like, I don't know, he seemed like he was checking up a little bit for something, and someone just kind of zoomed by on the inside. I couldn't catch who it was, but that's going to be some heavy damage, I believe, for the 00.
Yeah, I'm looking back right now around the 5th position, and got the number 77 of Clinton Kinkart, and he's kind of in the middle here between the first group of four and got a pack of two behind him. He's up, 7 positions from the start. Uh, his lap times have been pretty consistent. He's mid 32s, which for a single car is a good time. Third and fourth in front of him are running 32, 4, 8, 4 4s, but they're packed up together. If he can get with that group of cars, or that next group behind him, they get together and can get further up towards the front. They might can pack up and make up some distance on the leader there, but he's slowly, steadily just pulling away from the rest of the field right now.
Yeah, definitely. As we see the 81 and the 34, these guys have been side by side for a while. On the top line, Jonathan Locke has been holding pretty steady, actually. So I don't know if that top line is coming in now, or if Jonathan Locke in the 34 is if maybe his tires are just kind of burnt up and he's trying to cool them off a little bit.
This is what I was curious to see later in the run at this point with the 81. I mean, Jonathan was able to get to the drive to the bottom, but Taylor Peacock in the outside lane is just able to keep that drive off because, on that inside, as you can't quite get in the throttle where you want to because you don't have that track above you with the car on the outside. So you can get a good run going in, but it's the drive off that outside line is going to maintain the momentum. And especially with these ARCA cars, it's all about maintaining that momentum, getting to the corner. The guy that can do that the best usually is going to come out on top, especially in a tight knit racing with draft, especially usually here.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that we always talk about when we're driving is that getting to someone and passing them are two completely different things, because you can get to someone all you want, use the draft, use whatever else you can, but passing them is a completely different story, because as soon as you get next to them, the arrow on your car changes and all of a sudden you're either super tight or super loose, and there's not much in between. So once these guys get side by side and the guy on top starts maybe pinching down a little bit on the guy on the bottom, it takes the air off, and the guy on the bottom just gets super tight, and there's not much he can do about it.
Yeah, and we're coming up now on lap 31, and interested to see if anybody at this top 5 or top 10 is going to cycle, down to try a pit stop here or not. But let's cycle through the field here, and we'll take a look, see where everybody's running at right now. As you said, Bradley Wilson is got the point. He's got a significant gap here. He's sitting comfortably, in the lead, and this is what he wants to see. He wants to see clear track in front of him. Clinton Sneed and the number 49, he was able to take second position away, and he's at one spot from the start. And him and Garrett Delph, and Garrett's down one spot. They've been running, second and third back and forth for ever since the drop of the green flag here.
Yeah, for sure. That's been a pretty close battle. Bryant Seaborn he's been Mr. Consistent so far. He's started fourth, and he is currently sitting fourth. He's kind of, there's a car spinning. I could not see who it was, but they are on the apron, so we might not get a caution here.
Yeah, he was he was able to stay down off the track, so I don't think that's going to trigger the iRacing caution there. And you said Bryant's having a great run, and then next and sitting in fifth. Well, now the 34, Jonathan Locke and Taylor Peacock are still battling for that fifth position. It's been back and forth, and looks like Locke's going to get it right here coming down the backstretch. One at the 81 is going to look back down to the inside. Looks like they're going to settle out right now for fifth and sixth with Clayton Kinkart. He's slowly coming into the picture behind him, and that's what he wants to see. Those two guys battling is going to allow him to pull in.
Yeah, definitely. When two cars get side by side, it creates one big draft that can pull the guy behind right to him. So that's exactly what he wants to see. And that battle between the 34 and the 81, it's been going on for a couple laps, and they've been trading back and forth. But I mean, that's just good racing right there, where you can put it on someone's door and trust that they aren't gonna completely turn you on purpose, and you can trust the other person can trust you as well to do the same, and creates good friendships and a lot of fun.
Well, it looks like we got some guys going in the pits here. I just caught a glimpse of Brian Seaborn going into the pits. He's coming down for some Sunoco fuel and 4 fresh tires here. So we're looking at right now at halfway through. So he's going to run that, looks like that one pit stop strategy. I'm curious to see now, is he going to be the one that starts the cycle, or people going to try to stay out a little bit longer here?
Yeah, definitely. And I wonder if that causes anybody else to come in and pit, like our leaders, which I don't know exactly what happened here, but Clinton Sneed is now only 2/10 behind our leader, Bradley Wilson. So I don't know if Wilson might have gotten loose or something, but he closed about a 2-second gap between them.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if he's burnt the tires up, if he's looking at his fuel level now, or what exactly has happened. He could be trying to make this race on no stops, which is tight, but it is possible. But like we said earlier, being the leader there, especially in a draft, you're burning up more fuel than people behind you. And you're right. I mean, Clinton Sneed is closing quick here, and you're gonna have a battle for the lead shaping up, and then this lap or the next lap or two.
Yeah, he is looking to that outside, man. We are going to go to a commercial break, and stick with us. We'll be right back for Thursday Night Throwdown Arca series.
Let's face it, to build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have 2 options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Sneed Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
All right, we are back, and I apologize for that technical difficulty here, but while we were away, we actually got a caution here.
Yeah, I'm trying to look back and see exactly what happened here.
Yeah, now, that's, if you're the guys that just pit, that's the worst possible thing that you can see, because that there is like, you just pit, you're a lap down now because you lost so much time for that pit stop that now you're going to be stuck if one person stays out. But I don't know, that's tough.
Yeah, you're praying right now that if you took tires you've already pitted, that everybody that has not pitted yet in front of you will go down pit road, as it looks like a majority of the field here is going to go down pit road and get for a fuel load of Sunoco fuel and 4 fresh tires. So we're gonna have to see how this cycles back around, and these guys pitting now will have the freshest tires, so that could come into play earlier. And maybe it's not but a lap, 2 laps, 3 laps of fresher tires here, but that could definitely play later into the run.
Yeah, for sure. And went a lap, they will get waved around, and they'll be on the lead lap for this restart. But like you said, they're going to have well, I believe it was anywhere from 5 to 10 lap older tires than these leaders. So I mean, that's a big difference at this track in these cars for sure.
Yeah, and it looks like it's hard to tell yet. I'm trying to cycle through, but most of these guys, it looks like a majority of the guys pitted. I don't think you're going to have anybody that really is going to gamble, too much this late, in the run here and try to stay out on old tires. I don't think they know what the benefits, because I've been in these scenarios before. You don't take tires, they're eating you alive, and by turn 3 on the first lap.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't see the benefit of doing that. There's always a risk versus reward factor, and that the uh, risk very much outweighed the reward in that case.
Wave Ryan, because he's 7th or 8th right now behind the pace car. So it looks like a majority of those cars, if not all, will get their at least one lap back. And I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. This is going to wave Ryan. They won't get, they could take a chance and try to get a stop in, but it's going to give them the wave Ryan with one to go, and it's pretty much impossible to really do anything. You're just happy to get that lap back, and hopefully you don't have too many laps on your tires, and you'll be able to work your way back up through the field.
Yeah, and I mean, I believe that they will be okay on fuel now after they have stopped. So that's not really a concern. It's more just, are my tires going to be good enough to make it to the end and keep speed with these leaders that just took fresh tires on this under caution?
Yeah, and with 28, it'll probably be, it's going to be 27 roughly laps to go. We take green flag here next time by. Fuel is definitely not probably a concern with anybody, unless they've only pitted during that very first caution, which we didn't see any action there. So the main concern here will be how well have you taken care of your tires, and is anybody going to be able to break the draft and get out front and get a huge gap?
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out is the 76 of Bryant Seaborn, who is our current points leader for the ARCA series. He was one of those cars that pitted before the caution. So I believe he pitted on lap 35, and everybody else, all the leaders, pitted on lap 40. So, I mean, he's shown speed. He's won 2 out of the last 3 races, but is that 5 lap difference enough for him to not be able to get up here and get this win?
Yeah, he's right now. It's got him scheduled. He's sitting at 13th right now. That's a huge deficit, but you never know with these cars in this draft. It looks like coming to green.
Yeah,
Clint Snead's going to get a good jump there on the inside, and the outside line is kind of shuffling and bunching up there. As that leader just took off. He was gone.
Man, he is gone, and I mean, he's already pulled out to about an 8/10 gap. But I wonder if the 51 of Bradley Wilson is kind of sitting back and saying, hey, I did that last run. Let me try the other side. And he's maybe going to sit back and try and save his tires rather than possibly burn them up like he did in the beginning of this race.
Now, Taylor Peacock is sitting, he just took second place away, and he's a guy we've seen battle all night long, around the 5th position earlier. He's got a pretty good restart going here, and he can, maintain where he's at and keep up towards the front. As much as we've seen him run closely with the other cars tonight, he may be a big factor here, with going on 26 to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been interesting to watch him try and use that outside lane where most people are just sticking it to the bottom. And he's been fairly successful with it. Obviously, he's up to 3rd now. So I'm curious to see if he'll be able to use that on these new tires, or if he'll wait a little bit till his tires get a little bit more worn in.
Yeah, I just saw Jonathan Lott kind of slide up into the wall off 3 and 4 last time by. Lost a ton of momentum. He's kind of fallen back into the grasp of of the next group of cars now, and looks like he is gonna lose that spot to Kevin Winker. So see if he's able to recover here and get these positions back, because that's a tight group. You got Kevin Winker, Sam Jones, Jonathan Locke, and Brandon Pearl all running right there together. They're trying to jockey for that position. Maybe they'll get lined up single file here and try to cut away at some of that time of the cars in front of them together. So
Yeah, that'll be interesting, and I wonder how that damage is going to affect him because, I mean, these cars are pretty fragile. So if you hit that wall, I mean, with any amount of speed, you're gonna have some kind of takeaway from it, and it usually is pretty significant when it hits.
yeah, and up front we're seeing a reversal from earlier. Got Clinton Sneed out front, kind of pulling away. He's got about a 9/10, just shy of a second lead right now, behind Bradley Wilson, who was the guy that had the lead a while ago and was able to pull out that huge gap. So I'm wondering if is Bradley just keeping him in his sights, or is Clinton just staying far enough ahead of him right now? It's still anybody's race, 22 to go. A lot can happen in 22 laps, and especially 22 laps on a set of tires.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I want to point out that we saw Bradley Wilson get out to about a 2-second lead early in the beginning half of the race, and it went away somehow. So either he's just sitting back trying to do what Clinton did in the first half of this race, or Clinton's saying, "Hey, I saved a little too much, so I know that I can push it here in this beginning couple laps of this race, and I'll be all right for the ending."
Yeah, and as a driver, that's one thing you're able to do. If you can get that midway pit stop, you're able to look at your tires and see how bad you burn them up. Where you burn up the right front. If you burn up more, or if you burn up the right rear more, it gives you an idea of how you've been driving the car and the effect on the car on the tires, the way you've been driving it. So you run halfway, whether you need to give up a little bit more, or if you can push that car just a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. And our second place car, Bradley Wilson, is actually closing a little bit. I mean, he's down to about a half a second. He was up to almost a second earlier. So it's interesting to see all these different strategies. And the car sitting in third place right now, the 81 of Taylor Peacock, he's fallen back a little bit. He's about 2.5 seconds off of Bradley in second place. So I'm wondering what he's thinking, if he's saying, "Hey, I burned him up way too much last stage, so maybe I need to save a little bit in this beginning run and then burn him up later on."
Yeah, first and second place car lap times are pretty dead on. I mean, the second place is about 0.06 quicker. Everybody's running, mid 31.5s to 31.8s in the top five there, and I'm like you. I'm wondering who's trying to average their lap times and who's pushing the car right now, because still up front you're looking at about a half-second interval now. So Bradley Wilson is reeling him back in, or Clinton's just, like I said earlier, trying to just maintain that distance.
And if you're Bradley Wilson right now, you're just kind of hoping that that Clinton can make some sort of mistake, because if he hits the wall and gets a bunch of damage, then that's less work you got to do. But like we were talking about earlier, getting to him and getting past him is two completely different things. So we're sitting at 16 to go, and I'm kind of wondering